Hello from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Today we're going to look at 4 things from Joshua 17 and 18. We're in the section of Joshua. The people of Israel have come into the promised land and they start claiming it. And we've gone through some of the names of the cities that they've taken and the places that they've been allotted to. And so number 1, we are seeing them receive their portion. We've been talking about that a long time in the first 5 books, but now we're seeing it really come to fruition. 2, in the first 5 books, we heard the daughters of Zelophehad came to Moses and asked a question about, what about us? Our father doesn't have any sons. Does he not have an inheritance in Israel? And Moses took that to God, and God told them that they could have an inheritance, but they had to marry within the tribe so that the tribes would not take each other's land, so that the allotment could stay within the tribe. So we get to see them again in this chapter, and they're finally getting their claim there for their father, who has passed. So they get to live it. Number 3, Joshua says to Joseph's children, don't look at the obstacles in front of you. Go take what God has given you. Apparently they're a little bit nervous. They're not quite as hard charging as some of the other tribes. And he's saying, go up, take it. Oh, we're too big for this land. No, carve out a space for yourself then. Go take more land up here. And so that's what Joshua is encouraging them to go into the land and really take it like they're supposed to. And number 4, some of the tribes are not taking their land either. They haven't even gotten a lot yet. So they come, and there's 7 of them, so they send some spies out into the land who basically draw a map of the land, divide the cities into 7 sections, and then they cast the lots for it, and then we begin to see what they get. So here we go, jumping in, Joshua 17. There was a lot for the tribe of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph. To wit, for Machir was the firstborn of Manasseh, and the father of Gilead, because he was a man of war. Therefore he had Gilead and Bashan. There was also a lot for the rest of the children of Manasseh by their families, for the children of Abiezer, for the children of Helek, for the children of Azriel, for the children of Shechem, for the children of Hefer, for the children of Shemida. These were the male children of Manasseh and the son of Joseph by their families. But Zelophehad, the son of Hefer, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons, but daughters. And these are the names of the daughters. And these are exactly the same names. So same group, right? Mala and Noah and Hoglah and Milcah and Tirzah. And they came near before Eleazar the priest and before Joshua the son of Nun, before the princes, saying, the Lord God commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our brethren. Therefore, according to the commandment of the Lord, he gave them an inheritance among the brethren of their father. And there fell 10 portions to Manasseh, beside the land of Gilead and Bashan, which were on the side of the Jordan, on the other side. Because the daughters of Manasseh had an inheritance among his sons, and the rest of Manasseh's sons had the land of Gilead. And the coast of Manasseh was from Asher to Michmethah, that lieth before Shechem, and the border went along with the right hand of the inhabitants of En-Tappuah. Now Manasseh had the land of Tappuah, but Tappuah on the border of Manasseh belonged to the children of Ephraim. And the coast descended upon the river Cana, southward of the river. These cities of Ephraim are among the cities of Manasseh. The coast of Manasseh was also the north side of the river, and the outgoings were at the sea. Southward it was Ephraim's, and northward it was Manasseh's. And the sea is his border, and together they met in Asher in the north, and in Issachar on the east. And Manasseh had in Issachar and in Asher Beth Shean and her towns, and Ibleam and her towns, and the inhabitants of Dor and her towns, and the inhabitants of Endor and its towns, and the inhabitants of Tanakh and her towns, the inhabitants of Megiddo and her towns, even 3 countries. Yet the children of Manasseh could not drive out the inhabitants of the city, but the Canaanites would dwell in that land. Yet it came to pass, when the children of Israel were waxen strong, that they put the Canaanites to tribute, but did not utterly drive them out. And I wonder if that's a lack of faith or lack of effort, lack of trusting in God. Don't know, doesn't say. But that's going to come back to bite them later. And the children of Joseph spake unto Joshua and said, Why hast thou given me but one lot and one portion to inherit, seeing that I am a great people, forasmuch as the Lord hath blessed me hitherto? And Joshua said to them, If thou be a great people, then get thee up to the wood country, cut down for thyself there in the land of the Perizzites and of the giants, if Mount Ephraim be too narrow for thee. And the children of Joseph said, The hill is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites that dwell in the land have chariots of iron, both they who are of Bethshean and her towns, and those who are of the valley of Jezreel. And Joshua spake unto the house of Joseph, even to Ephraim and Manasseh, saying, Thou art a great people, and thou hast great power. Thou shalt not have one lot only, but the mountain shall be thine, for it is wood, and thou shalt cut it down, and the outgoings of it shall be thine, and thou shalt drive out the Canaanites, though they have iron chariots, and though they be strong. And if we do remember, God promised them they wouldn't be able to drive them all out at once, that it would take some time and some doing. That way the animals didn't become too great. Otherwise, God could have just wiped them out, and then the people could have just moved in. Chapter 18. The whole congregation of the children of Israel assembled together at Shiloh and set up the tabernacle of the congregation there. And the land was subdued before them. And there remained among the children of Israel 7 tribes which had not yet received their inheritance. Joshua said to the children of Israel, How long are ye slack to go possess the land which the Lord your God gave you? Give out from among ye 3 men for each tribe, and I will send them, and they shall rise and go through the land and describe it according to the inheritance of them. And they shall come again to me, and they shall divide it into 7 parts. Judah shall abide in their coast on the south, and the house of Joseph shall abide in their coast in the north. Ye shall therefore describe the land into 7 parts, and bring the description hither to me, that I may cast lots here before the Lord our God. But the Levites have no part among you, for the priesthood of the Lord is their inheritance. And Gad and Reuben and the half-tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan on the east, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave them. And the men arose and went away, and Joshua charged them that went to describe the land, saying, Go, walk through the land, describe it, and come again to me, and that I may here cast lots for you before the Lord in Shiloh. The men went and passed through the land, and described it by the cities unto the 7 parts of the book. It came again to Joshua to the host at Shiloh. And Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord, and there Joshua divided the land into the children of Israel according to their divisions. And the lot of the tribe of the children of Benjamin came up according to their families, and their coast of their lot came forth between the children of Judah and between the children of Joseph. And their border on the north side was from the Jordan, and the border went up the side of Jericho on the north side, and went up through the mountains westward, and the goings out of thereof was the wilderness of Beth-aven. And the border went over from thence towards Luz, to the side of Luz, which is Bethel, southward. And the border descended to Ataroth, Adar, near the hill that lieth on the south side of Beth-horon. And the border was drawn thence, and compassed the corner of the sea southward, from the hill that lieth at Beth-horon southward. And the goings out thereof were at Kirjath Baal, which is Kirjath-jearim, a city of the children of Judah. This was the west quarter. And the south quarter was from the end of Kiriath-jearim. And the border went out to the west, and went to the well of the waters of Nephtoah. And the border came down to the end of the mountains that lieth in the valley of the son of Hinnom, and which is the valley of the giants on the north, and descended to the valley of Hinnom, to the side of Jebusi on the south, and the descends to En-rogel. And was drawn from the north, and went from En-shamish, and went forth to Geliloth, which is over against Adumim, and descended to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuben, and passed along toward the side over the Arabah, northward, and went down unto Arabah. And the border passed along the side of Beth-hoglah northward, and to the goings of the border where it lay at the north bay of the salt sea, at the south end of the Jordan. This was the south coast. And Jordan was the border of it to the east side. This was the inheritance of the children of Benjamin by the coast thereof round about, according to their cities. Now the cities of the tribe of the children of Benjamin, according to their families, were Jericho, Beth-hoglah, the valley of Keziz, Beth-arabah, Zemarim, and Bethel, and Avim, and Para, and Orpha, and Chephar-Haam-monai, and Ophni, and Gaba, 12 cities and their villages, Gibeon and Ramah and Beeroth and Mizpah and Chephirah and Mazah and Rechem, and Irpeel and Tarla and Zelah, Eleph and Jebusai, which is Jerusalem. Gibeath and Kirjath, 14 cities and their villages. This is the inheritance of the children of Benjamin according to their families. Well, God always keeps his word. He said they're going to get in there and get it, and they are. But the question is, will you be faithful with what God has given you? And we know historically from Israel that they have a rough time, and we're going to get into that shortly here. So thanks for coming. Catch you next time.